Hi, I'm Julie Langenkamp-Muenkel. I'm the editor-in-chief of informationmanagement.com, and I'm at TDWI's World Conference in Las Vegas. I'm joined by Krish Krishnan, who is the CEO of Sixth Sense Advisors. Excuse me. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Krish, obviously everybody's talking about big data here. And I want to know, is there a perception that you need a data scientist to fully capitalize on big data? And if so, do they really exist, or is it just a myth?
Sure. I mean, I think it's a very interesting question, right? I mean, it's the question of the day, the hour, the minute that is bugging people. The question that you asked, the last part especially. To a lot of folks in the industry today, a data scientist is a unicorn, right? Who is this person, right? I mean, who can think about business, yet talk about statistical models, yet talk about data, understand metadata, and it's like you're combining a data analyst, business analyst, a DBA, an architect, and a super smart statistician into one. And frankly, I don't think it's not a one-person role in an organization. So first of all, a data scientist is a team of 3 at a minimum. So it's a data analyst, a business analyst, and a super smart statistician. Because the business analyst knows the business questions to ask, right? The data analyst knows what the data is. And the guy in the middle, the statistician, is going to be the outsider that's going to come in and say, I'm going to ask you the why, the why, the why, the why. So you want somebody to come and ask you the whys, but the whys have to be for each data facet that comes out. So that is what a data scientist organization would be. It's not a team of 1, it's a team of N. So if you recently heard, Riyadh Kiani, the Obama campaign CIO, and you heard him talk about how they monetized on all the data that's available, and they had a very smart team of statisticians. It was not just a team of statisticians, right? There was a team of campaign fundraisers, there was a team of marketing folks, there was teams on the ground that actually went and scouted and found out what the actual reality was with people and their knowledge of the campaign, and they fed all that information that the super smart scientists were able to figure out, right? So it's a team. Now, coming back to, do you really need data scientists to monetize big data, right? The answer is yes. You would need a data scientist organization within your organization that is going to help you really understand the true impact of what big data is doing to your business. And I'll give you a very simple example. Online shopping is the norm of the day, right? You can sit on your couch and in your case, you would like to look for the most latest fashion accessories, handbags. In my case, I'm going to be looking at what is available in the latest electronic, gizmos and gadgets. I mean, it's our personal tastes, right? Tailoring personal recommendations. So when you're shopping for a handbag and you're in Las Vegas and you're looking at your iPhone and the iPhone comes back and gives you an ad that says, you're in Caesar's Palace in 0.3 miles, here is 6 stores that sells 6 brand name handbags. And I get an email or a promotion on my phone that says, you're in the same location, here is an Apple store, and here is a Sony store, and here is some other store, right? So people are using your lat long, and people are using where you are in location-based intelligence, and then they're looking at your search patterns and creating digital personas of each one of us, and then they're pushing messages to that digital personality, which in turn comes and delivers that message to us in real world. This approach requires a data scientist. Because the marketing guy will say, here is my campaigns, right? The inventory guy will say, here is the inventory I have on hand. But somebody has to tie this together to put it into a model that can give you a crystal ball. And then you can measure how effective was the push. That is the reason why you would need a data scientist organization. So companies that are very successful at it, Amazon, eBay, to a certain extent Walmart. I mean, there are companies that have established some teams and they've become successful. Groupon. And there are companies that are actually now beginning to scratch the surface in their big data journey, and they're saying, what is this data scientist? Where do I hire one?
Right.
Right. So I think we are at a very, very important point in our industry today in terms of data and information, where you will need somebody with a math background, right? Previously, we were looking at people with computer science engineering degrees or computer scientists or people with extreme data modeling or extreme master data management expertise. Now we're bringing in the other backgrounds. And the reason we are bringing these other backgrounds is because the data that is coming in is also in a variety of formats.
Sure.
Right? Pictures, videos, images. So you want to bring in people with visual, with art, those kinds of backgrounds. They all are a data scientist in one way or shape or form.
So that's great news for people who thought that they had to go find the elusive data scientist.
Yes.
But what kind of training or what kind of advances do the existing business analyst and the data analyst and the statistician, what do they need to come together to form this data scientist group?
Very, very good question, right? So there is no course per se yet. There are some universities that are scratching the surface on providing courses in advanced statistical modeling, if you will. I think if every company does an introspection and looks at people who are today doing advanced analytics, and there are like 5 or 6 of those in every company within every group, marketing has some, sales has some, you can actually bring these guys together and then give them a big picture perspective and say, your focus is now enterprise, your focus is not just your job, and make them a shared services team, and then group them with different business lines, and then puts me from the line of businesses to work with those guys to create those foundational storyboards, then you're actually off to the races. And we're not talking anything different from how we did BI. It's almost similar concepts, except that the skills are different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So now to shift gears a little bit, this is obviously the industry is changing and evolving so much, and there's so much exciting stuff going on. Over the next year, what do you personally see as the most exciting innovation taking place, and what excites you when you hear about it?
Well, I think from an innovation perspective, I think the most exciting innovation that can happen beyond what we have seen today is where you get more personalization of services, more location-based intelligence, more companies coming out with pervasive tools that you can use, where you don't need to know these advanced statistics, where they camouflage all the complexity, and then they give you the widgets. So you push an app, it does everything for you. That innovation is what I'm looking forward to. And when that happens, you can say, Grandma can do big data.
Sure.
Right? That's what we want to head towards. And I'm sure that's going to happen this year.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for your insights and advice, and I appreciate your time.
Yep, thank you for your time.
Thank
Have
you.
a good evening.